Hello friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. We are in a very special garden today. We are here with Tracy of Plaids and Poppies, and her yard is spectacular.
Thank you.
So first of all, thank you so much for having us, because
absolutely,
it is fantastic.
Thank you.
And it has been an absolute joy, because we've been spending, I don't know, an hour with each other already, and just chit-chatting and having fun. And the boys were here talking, and just
so much to talk about.
So much to talk about. And you would think, right? So Tracy is in Michigan.
Yep.
Zone 5-ish B, kind of that borderline. We're in North Carolina, zone 7B, and where we have a lot of things that are similar, but then we have a lot of things that are very different and challenging.
Very different.
You know?
Yes.
And so we were talking about where like our hibiscus are on the end of blooming, and you just got your first flower today. Yes. So she got her first flower today. So you're about, I don't know what, maybe 6 weeks, I guess, behind us. Right. And so Tracy just has a spectacular garden. You've been featured in multiple, like the garden idea books, and with Walter's Gardens. She works very closely with the folks at Walter's Gardens, because you are so incredibly blessed. They're what, 20 minutes away?
Yes. And just so fun to have them right in my backyard, basically.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And so it's just, you have a great relationship with them, and olive proven winners. And so Tracy does this yard all by herself.
I do.
I asked her, I said, okay, Tracy, like, let's have a moment of truth here.
Yep.
Do you get any help? And other than the lawn guy, you maintain it yourself.
I do. This year I did have some help.
Yes. So
different circumstances.
Yes. So Tracy it's been a rough summer for her family, but you have handled it with such grace and dignity, and just wonderful, and your garden is beautiful. So we are going to walk through, very informal, and I just want to show you just how beautiful it is, because
July's good in Michigan.
It is.
July's good.
And Tracy and we actually, I think you and I have very similar garden styles as far as like our color. Like we like color. Love the color. And two, do you think it's because, I mean, maybe it's just your personality, but because your winters are so long?
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
I love color, but I also, it's so gray and white for way too long. It goes from gray to white to brown.
Oh, yeah. So now question though, so when can you plant your annuals? Like when your petunias?
Usually not until Mother's Day, Memorial Day. Like I'll plant a lot of my containers around Mother's Day, and then some of them I can bring in. Okay. But in the ground, I usually wait till almost Memorial Day. Wow. And I do kind of watch, like, if there's like a freeze, if you look at the 10-day forecast and like, the frost is off or whatever.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I know, it's crazy. Okay, so we're just going to spin around here and show you some things. And I just this is like an inspiration video, right? Because I'm a huge proponent of walking through other people's gardens.
I know.
Because you always take something away, right?
Yes.
And I do love, you're a big fan, gardener, of when you're planting, you plant in multiples. Like you're not going to plant one sedum or one phlox.
Well, thanks to Walter's Gardens, right?
But don't you think, though, that makes a difference?
It does. Because people will a lot of times say that, like, how do you get it all filled in so fast?
Right.
And a lot of times it's just that I plant 5 of them at one time. Right. Like the echinacea over here.
I know. Is that spectacular?
Isn't it so fun?
Yes.
That is, how do you say that? Fire.
The summer song Fire Finch.
Yes. Because they renamed it.
They did rename it.
Yeah. So like I think that there was probably 5 in here.
Yeah, but they are just gorgeous.
And then it just looks like a big mass.
Right. And what's interesting, so we partnered with Walters and did a video on like my 15 favorite perennials for the South, and this was one of them. So even in the South, that just does great. And we talked about, so it did have a name change. It was Lakota Fire. Now it's gone to Summer Song Fire Finch. But what's so amazing is, one, it's like a shorter plant, but the colors are so different.
Yeah.
You have hot pinks, reds, and oranges. And so when you plant them in that mass, it just makes a huge color. And that's the thing too with your yard. When you look out, you can see those big pops of color.
Yes, my favorite. So
fun. So one thing that I am, I don't like being jealous, but I am jealous in the fact of she had one Japanese beetle. One Japanese beetle, people. This is all she had.
I really haven't had very many, and I found one last night, and I was like, okay,
So I told her, I was like, go ahead and start treating your yard with the milky spores so that you don't get them.
Yes,
and because
that's a great idea.
They're all at Jenny's house right now. Dear heavens, dear heavens. But like, look at this phlox, y'all. This is the opalescence.
Yes. Luminary opalescence.
Yeah, luminary opal. Oh my gosh.
Isn't that something?
And it smells so good.
Oh,
it is beautiful.
It has been going for so long too.
Yes, and then your catnip.
Even through the rain.
So Tracy got what, 4 inches of rain?
Yes, in one day.
In one swoop. It was 4 inches of rain, and so that's just a testament of like this plant and how sturdy it is.
Yes,
that it just
definitely those stems are way sturdier than most phlox.
Yeah, because most phlox would be on the ground right now, and just gorgeous, absolutely. So
it sure is.
Love all this Gomphrena.
Yep.
The Truffle of Pink. You might be seeing that
in some. It is a fun. Yes,
future.
Some of the proven winter
That's
rocks.
right. That's right.
That's what.
Oh my gosh.
In mass, it's fun in arrangements too, or in pots too, because sometimes it just pops out.
It does. And like everywhere. This, like you've got your verbena that's coming in. I mean, you've got
look at it.
all of that coming in and out. And it's just beautiful. And Tracy is like the master of like container gardening. Like how you arrange
that's like an art to me. Like it's you're creative.
It is just stunning. So she's got all sorts of beautiful like cannas in here, but hopefully we'll be able to make it around to the front because I want to show you some of those out in the front. But she's just, so let's just come on. We're just going to walk through the garden. And you've got, because you've got jazzberry here, right?
Yep. No, this is royal magenta.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And then you've got your lantana and more Gomphrena. And then the sun credibles.
They're the best.
Gorgeous. But like, look at these window boxes, y'all. This is just stunning.
Window boxes are just my absolute funnest, I think.
Well, you are really good at it. Like you are just, they are stunning.
They're always fun to do.
So do you have any tips or tricks as far as like making sure, like what is some keys to success for your window boxes, would you say?
They're all on automatic drip.
Okay.
And I think that is probably key for me because you don't forget or have them go. It seems like anytime that you have a container that, forgot to water it.
Yes.
And then you water it, it's never quite as good, where if they never have that drought.
Yes.
I do fertilize once a week.
Okay.
That's all.
Water soluble, fertilize once a week.
And I always have like a soil that has like the
slow release in it. Yes.
Other than that, I don't know. I love to deadhead, and I do think that deadheading is such a good way to keep everything going.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll go in there, and I usually do pack my stuff tight, and not everybody agrees with that, but here our growing season is so short that I usually can get away with it. And sometimes I do lose things in there. Like I'm like, I did have an orange in there somewhere, and I don't always see it. But for the most part, if I start to lose things, I cut stuff back.
Right.
Like this sweet potato vine, like I'll chop one whole top off and say, okay, we'll give you more of a chance.
Yeah,
you know?
And I think people are afraid to trim stuff back.
Yeah,
and I'm
really
like, no,
does better. Yeah,
yes, like your coleus. If you had a coleus in there and it started getting too big, it's like, no, just take it out.
Absolutely.
I mean, like, you know what I mean? Trim it back, and then it just gets tight.
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but they are just beautiful.
Thank you.
I do think the consistent water.
Yes.
And the food.
Yep.
And I don't think people realize how like heavy feeders these annuals are.
Very heavy feeders.
Very heavy.
So I think ask your local garden center that, because the gal that I'm always with go to, she will tell me, those could feed almost every time.
Yes.
Those do fine otherwise, but yeah. So I never knew some of that stuff. Like petunias could just.
And that's when, like, in the growing production side, it's like Jerry can feed those baskets, like especially like hanging baskets. Like they can get fed like every day, right, Jerry?
Right.
They get
even
fed
probably at like a smaller amount or whatever.
Yeah, it's that reduced amount, but still they're getting fed every day, and then that's what gives you that massive, gorgeous color to them.
And then there was other things that I learned, like impatience back in the day, like they did not want a lot of fertilizer.
Right.
They would get big and green and no flowers.
Right.
So I think asking asking growers like you guys. Like that has helped me so much. I learned a ton by asking growers because they know what they're doing.
Right.
They know what every plant needs.
Yeah, and that ask questions.
Yes, ask questions.
And when you have other gardening friends, like talk to them.
Yes.
That's what I always tell people. It's like,
for sure.
Make friends that like to garden.
Yes.
And like, not only are they a wealth of information, but a lot of times you'll get to like plant swap and do all those kinds of fun things.
Oh, absolutely.
It's fantastic.
There's nothing like a garden friend.
I know. So, can we walk up by the pool just a little bit?
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. And her zinnias. People, look.
I know, look how huge
Tracy.
That one is. Isn't that so
That is
large?
like massive.
And look at the pink one too. I don't know if I've ever had one that big.
What are you feeding these things? They're like,
you know what I did with these?
No, tell me.
So when I planted them, I put flower tone right in the dirt, or in the hole.
Yeah.
From a small flower tone. Okay. I just would sprinkle a little bit right in the dirt, put it in there, and
now, did you start these from seed, or did you buy these?
No, I did buy them a flat.
Yeah. They are gorgeous.
Yes, they are fun. They're even bright colors. Like,
I know.
So good.
It's like sunshine in a little
they're
flower bed right there. Is gorgeous. And then you are, like, for me, I say this is the famous, like, limelight hedge. Right back there. Just gorgeous. So they're just now starting to come.
They are.
Or they're just starting to open up. But man, when they are in bloom, that is just a stunning, beautiful sight. And your pool is just so inviting.
Should have brought your suit.
I know. I got my suitcase. I'll just jump in and then we'll change clothes. But,
for sure.
Oh my gosh. And like your hostas are massive.
I know, those are huge, aren't they?
Do you know how long they've been here?
4 years.
Wow.
Yep.
Do you remember what variety they are?
That's the Blue Angel.
Yes. Yes. So we have Blue Angel and it is, oh my gosh.
I love. That's one of the only hostas I really love the flowers on. Now they could be cut back now, but for the most part,
well, and the bees are still all over them.
Yeah, for the most part, they have a beautiful flower.
They are gorgeous. And that's what's fun too about going to Walters and walking through like their hosta bed.
Isn't that amazing?
It is. When we were there last year, it was so much fun to see how they've done that. And they were in bloom, so you got to see the foliage and the different blooms. And it was gorgeous. Now, your alliums.
Yes.
So most of these are serendipity. We've talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
So because
I think.
We think. But regardless, the alliums are beautiful. And she has them in multiple areas. Again, they're just now starting to really kind of go from the bud to the flower stage.
And yours are probably done.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. But, so do you leave your heads on your alliums? Or do you go ahead and deadhead them? Or do you leave that interest?
I usually will deadhead them.
Yeah.
Not for quite a while, though.
Right.
But yeah.
Because I've heard people say that they will leave their alliums, like even like through the winter and have that interest.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could handle the look.
I know. And I think that people have been mad at me for some reason too about, do you deadhead everything or do you cut everything back? And I'm like, I don't get to everything because I have so much. So when people say, oh, you should have left that for the birds, I want to be like, you have no idea how much over the birds have everywhere, you know?
Right.
And
you saw me cut one plant.
Yeah, you saw me cut one plant and the birds will be fine.
Yes.
But I have so much. I never get to it all. I do some in the fall and some in the spring. So if I get to a plant that doesn't look good, I do usually cut it back.
Sure, right. And then if it's an area like this where it's high visibility, I mean, it's right here at the pool, it's right here at the picnic table, you're here all the time, so maybe you do trim those back, but the hedge somewhere else just stays and it's good.
Exactly.
I love it. And these, would this be little lime? Who is this?
That is little lime.
Ha-ha.
Yeah.
Oh.
It still gets really big, but at least it's not
I
going to
know.
get 10
little
foot,
limes
right?
are not that little because we have some at our house that are 4 years old, I think it is. And they
get as tall as you.
Yeah. And I'm like, and I'm sure you trim yours every spring, late winter, you know, and they just
keep going.
They do.
Those are no fail for sure.
Now, have you tried the little lime punch? Have you got?
I have one I got this year, and I think it's just right down there, so it doesn't. It just has a couple on it. It's very tiny. Yeah.
Right.
Does that one stay small too?
So we got them last year. Spring Meadow sent us 3.
Okay.
But it was like in June, and so for June for us, can be really hot.
Yeah.
So I lost one.
Okay.
The other two I just kept alive, and that was a success for me because it's in full sun.
Ooh.
So Spring Meadow sent them to us because they wanted to see if they would really turn that bright red color.
Oh, yeah.
Because they need like cooler nights to get the color to them. So our lime lights will go basically cream, green, brown. Like we never get any pink on ours. No, because our nights are so hot and they don't have the cool nights. So they wanted to send us the punches to see if they would turn. So last year I kept them alive. I got one teeny tiny little bloom. I was like, okay, that was not you know, you had to like leave it in the ground, right?
Yes.
This year they are stunning. They are gorgeous. They are full of blooms and they're starting to turn pink.
Good.
I know, I'm so excited.
And they're excited to hear that, I bet.
They are.
Yeah.
Oh, and so even if they don't, like, because as far as the nursery, like we were like, well, would we want to carry punch because we have so much little limes, but you could totally have, like you could have a little lime right here and a punch right here and have a totally different look.
Awesome. And the punch will get as big.
It's supposed to. I think so. But for me,
interesting.
So this will be like a test. I mean, as far as like longevity. But right now, punch is a lot tighter and more compact. Where like you have the openness here, right? Because that's just what they do. And maybe in a couple of years, the punches will do that. But right now, I mean, they are tight and a different color.
Okay.
So they're beautiful.
Ooh,
so I would imagine for you. Yeah. So if you see some more,
sure.
grab them. Absolutely.
We need to do that.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh. So what, okay, we've already talked about this a little bit, but what would be right now your #1 gardening challenge? Share it with the people.
The voles.
So Tracy deals with voles. I know a lot of y'all have that same problem and you really haven't found a good answer yet.
I have not. They're everywhere and I've tried everything. Right now, I told them, you probably hear the little buzzing because I have those little solar sticks that vibrate. They don't seem to be helping. I've tried, little traps. We've tried bait. We've tried.
Good, but you actually see them out and about during the day.
Yeah. One ran out while we were sitting in the fire the other night.
Oh my gosh. I told her, so in a couple of weeks, they're getting a sweet new puppy. And I was like, well, so Gracie can come home, and then you can also get a little Jack Russell Terrier. And you can go around.
They like to get them, huh?
Oh, my, yes.
Because
that's like, it's like a little rat terrier, and so that's what they do. Yeah.
But then they would dig in your beds.
They would, yeah. So we can't do that. So, no. We can teach Gracie to go after them.
Well, you know what? All our beds ended up having a...
This is true. Maybe just her presence, like, can
I
bark.
think that could be. That could happen. Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. All right. We're going to take a pause for a minute, and we're going to go around to the front because I'm going to show you her front. It's just, beautiful. So we'll see you on the front porch in just a second. All right, so here we are at the front sidewalk. Driveway's right here, front of the house, and we pulled up, and these containers, I'm telling you, she is the master of like containers, but it's gorgeous. My eye first came to this one. It's got the Suncredible, it's got El Brighto, Vermillionaire for the first time that you're trying.
I am.
I know. I'm like, Tracy,
I love it.
Yes. And then the Mini Vistas, Supertunias, you've got Surefire Reds.
Yeah.
I mean, you've just got them all in here.
There's a red verbena on the other side.
See, all sorts of fun things. So my eye went to this, and Tracy said, well, the other one over here, I realized the irrigation wasn't working. I never even saw that one. But you can see the size difference. So that just shows you what the difference of that consistent water makes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's catching up.
It is.
Then once you figured it out, but it is, now on this system, like in a container, do you do a single drip? Like how
I do one of those little, where you can, it's like a little sprinkler.
Okay.
But you can do 0 to 10 gallons in a minute or whatever it is. Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
So that you can just adjust it.
Okay.
And so when the plants are new, I usually just put it in the middle and have it, and it sprays out kind of, like in a circle maybe this big.
Sure.
And then I just kind of monitor at first, like how wet is it getting, how long did it take.
Sure, right.
And that's what I run it.
Gotcha. Oh.
And then sometimes I'll run them twice a day if it gets like a 90.
Yes.
3 days in a row or something.
It's crazy heat.
Yeah.
I know. And then your echinaceas, like you've got echinaceas all over the place here, and they are just.
They're one of my favorites because they just keep going, right? And there's so many colors, and
the orange,
and
the pinks and the reds, all sorts of. Now, what great?
That is called Shenandoah.
Okay.
I don't remember what.
It's beautiful. No, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah,
pieces.
It gets redder and redder as the fall comes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The whole tips are bright red, and it's very fun.
And then the window boxes, Jared, are you getting the window boxes? I mean, like, look at that, and
crazy.
Still, like, you still have those same. Plants repeated.
Yep.
So we've talked about that before, about how you can take that core group of plants and you repeat it in different parts of your garden, and it ties it all together, and it's just.
I do love doing that.
Oh my gosh, stunning. But I want to show you the containers on her front porch are just beautiful. Now this would be, does it ever get direct sun?
No. In the fall more, sun will come up here.
Yeah.
But right now, no, it doesn't.
Oh,
but you know, I cheated just a little bit, and in those lights I put grow lights.
How smart!
And that was my grower lady, Liz from Cherry Valley, because I was like, she's like, try that, and it really has helped.
That is a genius
Isn't that
idea.
Fun? And they don't look the greatest at night, so then I just put this one on, because you know how that like funky like
that weird kind of glow
daylight.
To it. Yeah. So that's a great tip. Is that if you have that really shady porch, just put the grow light in your sconce or whatever.
Know.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I know, it worked. They've never been that good.
Beautiful. Oh, everything is fantastic.
Thank you.
It's just. Thank you so much again for letting us
I'm so glad you were here.
I know.
It's been a blessing.
It has been. It has been.
And
we will get to see each other.
Yes.
In like almost exactly a month.
Yep.
At Mackinac.
Yep.
It is going to be so much fun.
It is.
So everybody stay tuned. Now, if you do not already follow Tracy, she has an amazing Instagram account where her pictures, like at first I was like, they just can't be real. Like your window boxes can't look that good. They really do. Like they are gorgeous. And so you just do a fantastic job of inspiring people and bringing light and joy to people's lives. And
thank you for saying that.
Well, it's the truth. And so she does a great, her stories are always so much fun because she just takes you on all sorts of fun adventures and real life happening, right? I mean, real life happening. And so she is a great source of inspiration and beauty out there. And so again, thank you so much for letting us come.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and so we'll have to do something together in Mackinac.
Yes.
I don't know what, but we'll figure something out.
We sure will.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
Yes, and as always, thank you so much for gardening with Creekside. We'll see y'all in the next video. Bye, friends.